The massive alien warship's beam cut through 3 Earth destroyers like paper. Admiral James Anderson gripped his command chair, watching the main display as humanity's finest ships burned across the void of space. The Mars defense line, their last major fortification, was falling. "Sir, we've lost the ENS Valiant and ENS Defender." The young officer's voice cracked as he reported from his station. "The alien fleet is pushing through Sector 7. Anderson's weathered face showed no emotion, though his heart ached for every lost ship and crew. Humanity had fought bravely for the past 3 months, but the alien technology was simply too advanced. Their shields could withstand most human weapons, and their energy beams ignored human defensive systems. The command center of the ENS Guardian shook as another blast struck nearby. Warning lights flashed across every console. Through the massive bridge windows, Anderson watched as escape pods streamed from dying ships, their tiny engines burning bright against the darkness of space. "Admiral, new transmission. Priority black. Source, Solar Council." The communications officer's eyes widened as she read the classification level. Anderson stepped to her station, entering his highest clearance codes. The message was brief. "Coordinates near Jupiter," followed by 3 words that made his breath catch. "Project Thunderhead activated." He had heard whispers about Project Thunderhead during classified briefings, but even with his rank, he'd never learned its true nature. Now, as he watched his fleet dying, those coordinates felt like humanity's last hope. "Order all remaining ships to begin falling back to Earth's orbit," Anderson commanded. "Transmit to all captains. Operation Broken Shield is in effect." The bridge crew looked at him in shock. Broken Shield was the emergency protocol for full retreat. They had trained for it, but never imagined using it. "Sir," his second-in-command stepped closer. "If we retreat now, Earth's orbital defenses will buy us time." Anderson cut him off. "Sometimes you have to lose a battle to win the war." The next hour was chaos. The alien fleet pressed their advantage, but Earth's ships had trained for this. They retreated in waves, covering each other, saving as many crews as possible. The aliens, overconfident in their victory, didn't press as hard as they could have. As the Guardian entered Earth orbit, Anderson received another encrypted message. This one contained full briefing files on Project Thunderhead. As he read, his eyes grew wide. "Plot a course for the Jupiter coordinates," he ordered, "and send word to any ships that can still maneuver. Rendezvous with us there." The alien fleet held position at Mars, likely preparing for their final push to Earth. They didn't pursue the retreating human ships. On their scanners, it would look like a routed enemy making a last, desperate attempt to regroup. Anderson smiled for the first time in days. Let them think that. Let them celebrate their coming victory. Because if what he'd just read about Project Thunderhead was true, the real battle hadn't even started. Looking at the distant shape of Jupiter on his display, Anderson whispered, "Humanity still has cards to play, you overconfident bastards. The biggest card of all." The Guardian's engines flared as it began its burn toward Jupiter, toward humanity's last, best hope. The massive hangar bay stretched further than the eye could see, hidden within Jupiter's intense radiation belts. Dr. Robert Miller watched through the observation deck as maintenance drones swarmed around warships that, officially, didn't exist. 20 years of work, he said, touching the reinforced window, and not a single leak to the public. Behind him, Admiral Anderson let out a low whistle. His fleet had arrived an hour ago, and he still couldn't believe what he was seeing. The shipyard was built into a cluster of captured asteroids, using their mass and Jupiter's radiation to hide from both Earth and alien sensors. "How many ships?" Anderson asked. 300, Miller replied. "Plus support vessels. The radiation belt powers them all. No reactor signatures to detect." The ships looked unlike anything in Earth's fleet. Their hulls were dark, absorbing light rather than reflecting it. They had no visible engines, no traditional weapon mounts. They looked more like geometric shadows than warships. A loud bang echoed through the station as another asteroid was split open, revealing more hidden construction bays. The noise made Anderson jump, but Miller barely noticed. He'd lived with those sounds for 15 years. The Solar Council knew, Anderson said. It wasn't a question. They let us fight and die out there while this was hiding here. Miller turned from the window. They had to. The aliens have spies everywhere. If they'd detected this facility. He shook his head. This is humanity's last card. Our only chance to survive. The observation deck's doors slid open. Captain Laura West entered, her uniform still showing signs of battle damage from the retreat. Admiral, you need to see this. They followed her to the testing chamber. Through another window, they watched as engineers demonstrated the ship's capabilities. A test drone fired the same energy weapons the aliens used. The beam struck one of the new ships and simply vanished. Absorption fields, Miller explained. We learned from the first alien ship that crashed on Mars. Their weapons are energy-based, so we built ships that consume energy. The more they shoot, the stronger our ships become. Anderson leaned forward. And our weapons. Miller smiled. Watch. The new ship fired. Instead of traditional missiles or energy beams, a wave of darkness spread from its hull. The test drone's shields flared and died. We call it the blackout pulse, Miller said. It disrupts their shield harmonics. Their armor is actually quite weak without shields. One good hit after that. Warning lights flashed. A station controller's voice came over the speakers. Alien scout ships detected near Ganymede. They're sweeping with long-range scanners. They can't detect us, Miller said confidently. The radiation belt. We're not taking chances, Anderson cut him off. How soon can these ships be ready for battle? Miller checked his tablet. The first squadron is armed and crewed. We've been training pilots in simulators for years, just waiting for the right moment. Anderson watched another blackout pulse test, his mind already forming plans. The aliens think they've won. They're getting careless. He turned to Captain West. Signal the fleet. Begin combat preparations. If we're going to strike, it has to be soon. Through the window, more shadow ships emerged from their hidden bays, ready to change the course of the war. Commander Mary White walked through her new ship's corridors, her footsteps echoing in the strange dark metal hallways. The HMS Shadow Striker was unlike any vessel she'd commanded before. No bright lights, no humming engines, just a quiet, almost alive feeling pulsing through the ship's structure. Power readings are stable, Commander, her engineering chief, Bill Foster, reported as they entered the bridge. Jupiter's magnetic field is feeding directly into the absorption arrays. We're at 95% capacity. The bridge itself was a marvel of minimalist design. Instead of traditional screens and controls, dark panels lit up as crew members approached them. The main viewport showed Jupiter's massive form, its radiation bands visible as shifting colors against the ship's special filters. Status of the fleet, White asked, settling into her command chair. All 300 ships report ready, her second-in-command replied. Ghost Fleet formations 1 through 10 are in position behind Jupiter's North Pole. The aliens haven't detected a thing. White nodded, remembering the briefing. Each ship in the Ghost Fleet had been designed to work as part of a larger network. When they fought, they would fight as one. A single organism with 300 striking arms. Commence neural link test, she ordered. The bridge lights dimmed. White felt the familiar tingle as her neural implant connected with the ship's systems. Suddenly, she wasn't just seeing her ship. She was seeing through the sensors of all 300 vessels. The sensation was overwhelming at first, but her training kicked in. Neural network stable, Foster reported. All ships showing green. Through the fleet-wide link, White could feel the other commanders, their presence like quiet whispers in her mind. They had all been chosen for their ability to handle the neural interface, to become part of something larger than themselves. Show me the alien fleet, White commanded. A tactical display appeared. showing the enemy ships still orbiting Mars. They were celebrating their apparent victory, not even bothering to maintain proper battle formations. Their arrogance will be their downfall, someone whispered through the neural link. White agreed. The Ghost Fleet had advantages the aliens couldn't imagine. Each ship's hull was made of metamaterials that bent light and sensor waves around them. Their weapons were powered by Jupiter itself, drawing on the gas giant's massive magnetic field. Most importantly, the neural link let them react as one, faster than any traditional command structure. Admiral Anderson's report coming in, her communications officer announced. The remaining Earth fleet is in position. They're ready to play their part. White stood, looking at her crew. They were young, chosen specifically for this mission, trained in secret for years. They had watched Earth's forces fall back, unable to help until the right moment. That burden had been heavy. Send to all ships, she ordered. This is Commander White. The aliens think they've broken humanity's spirit. They think we're hiding, licking our wounds. She smiled. Let's show them how wrong they are. Ghost Fleet, power up for combat operations. The next phase begins in 6 hours. Around Jupiter's pole, 300 shadow ships hummed to life, their dark hulls absorbing even the faint sunlight. Through the neural link, White felt their combined power, humanity's hidden blade, ready to strike. The real war was about to begin. The alien command ship floated above Mars, its crystalline structure gleaming in the sunlight. Inside, High Commander Vex studied the tactical display showing Earth's pitiful remaining fleet retreating towards Jupiter. Such primitive creatures, he said to his officers. They actually think they can hide in the gas giant's radiation belts. None of his subordinates mentioned that their long-range scans of Jupiter were being distorted. They knew better than to question their commander's certainty of victory. Meanwhile, in Jupiter's shadow, Commander White's Ghost Fleet moved into attack position. The massive planet's bulk hid them perfectly, its radiation masking any trace emissions their ships might produce. Formation status. White asked through the neural link. All ships in position, came the collective response. Phase 1 complete. The Ghost Fleet had spread into a 3-dimensional web around Jupiter's dark side. Each ship maintained perfect position relative to its neighbors, their movements coordinated through the neural network with computer-like precision. On the Shadow Striker's bridge, White watched the alien fleet through their long-range sensors. The enemy ships were scattered, maintaining only minimal patrol patterns. Some had even powered down their main weapons, confident that the war was effectively over. They still haven't detected us, her tactical officer reported. Their sensor suites are getting lazy. They're not even bothering to compensate for Jupiter's interference anymore. White nodded. Everything was going according to plan. The aliens' own technology was working against them. Their advanced sensors were actually too sophisticated, automatically filtering out the Ghost Fleet's unusual energy signatures as background radiation. Through the neural link, she felt the other commander's anticipation. After years of preparation, months of watching Earth's forces fall back, they were ready. Their ships had been built for this moment, designed to exploit every weakness in alien technology that Earth scientists had discovered. Message from Admiral Anderson, her communications officer announced. Earth fleet is in position. They're beginning their desperate attack in 30 minutes. White allowed herself a small smile. The remaining Earth ships would launch a seemingly foolish assault, drawing the aliens' attention. It would look like humanity's last, hopeless gesture of defiance. All ships, final systems check, she ordered through the neural link. 300 dark vessels powered up their weapons, the energy absorbed from Jupiter's magnetosphere filling their special batteries. A junior officer spoke up. Commander, alien patrol approaching Jupiter's orbit. Standard scan pattern. Hold position. White commanded. Let them come. The alien patrol swept past, its sensors passing right through the area where the Ghost Fleet waited. Thanks to their metamaterial hulls and Jupiter's shadow, they were completely invisible to enemy scans. Patrol is reporting back to their command, Tactical reported. Message intercepted. Nothing but normal radiation patterns near Jupiter. No sign of Earth ships. White felt the fleet's collective satisfaction through the neural link. Even this close, the aliens couldn't see them. Their stealth systems were working perfectly. All ships, begin power-up sequence, she ordered. Weapons to standby. The Earth fleet will need exactly 20 minutes to reach attack range. When they do, she paused, feeling the crew's anticipation. We'll show these aliens that humanity isn't as helpless as they think. In the darkness of Jupiter's shadow, 300 ships waited silently, ready to change the course of the war. What a foolish waste, High Commander Vex laughed, watching Earth's remaining fleet approach. They actually think they can challenge us with these primitive ships. His command staff joined in his amusement, watching as the human vessels formed an attack pattern. Earth's fleet looked pathetically small against the massive alien armada. Admiral Anderson's voice broadcasted on all frequencies. This is humanity's final warning. Withdraw from our solar system, or face the consequences. The alien bridge erupted in laughter again, but their amusement died instantly as new contacts appeared on their sensors, directly behind their fleet. Impossible, Vex shouted. Where did they? The ghost fleet emerged from Jupiter's shadow like avenging spirits. 300 dark ships, moving in perfect synchronization, their hulls absorbing all light and energy around them. Commander White's voice cut through all channels. Ghost fleet, execute pattern Omega. Blackout pulses, full spread. Through the neural link, 300 commanders acted as one. Waves of darkness erupted from their ships, spreading like ripples through space. The pulses hit the alien fleet's rear formations first. Our shields, an alien officer screamed. They're just disappearing. The blackout pulses worked exactly as designed, disrupting the alien shield harmonics. Without their primary defense, the enemy ship's hulls were exposed. Second wave. Fire. White commanded. The Ghost Fleet's second line launched their attack. Traditional weapons would have been useless against alien armor, but these ships fired concentrated beams of Jupiter's own radiation, modified and weaponized. The blasts tore through the unshielded alien ships like paper. All units, break and engage. White ordered through the neural link. The Ghost Fleet split into smaller attack groups, each targeting specific enemy formations. Their neural-linked crews reacted faster than any traditional command structure could manage. From his position near Mars, Anderson watched in awe as the alien fleet fell into chaos. The Ghost Fleet ships seemed to move impossibly fast, appearing and disappearing in Jupiter's radiation waves, striking from unexpected angles. Energy weapons ineffective. And alien commanders screamed over their broadcast channels. They're absorbing our shots. White felt the enemy's panic through her ship's sensors. The aliens had never faced an enemy that could negate their technological advantages. Their rigid command structure was falling apart. Admiral Anderson, White called. The doors open. Bring your fleet in. Earth's remaining ships charged forward, their weapons targeting the now vulnerable alien vessels. Caught between two forces, the alien fleet started to break apart. On his command ship, Vex watched in horror as a third of his fleet died in the first 10 minutes of combat. Fall back, he ordered. Regroup at. A blackout pulse hit his flagship directly. As his shields failed, he saw a dark shape emerge from a radiation wave. The Shadow Striker, heading straight for his command deck. This is Commander White. Her voice came through on all frequencies. To all alien ships. You thought humanity was beaten. You thought we were primitives. Let this serve as a lesson. Another wave of blackout pulses swept through space. More alien ships went dark, their shields failing, their crews panicking. The tide of battle had turned. Humanity's hidden fleet had struck, and the aliens' seemingly unstoppable advance had been shattered in less than 15 minutes. The real war was just beginning. Dr. Tom Baker stood in the captured alien ship's engine room, surrounded by twisted crystalline structures that seemed to pulse with inner light. 3 days after the Ghost Fleet's surprise attack, Earth's scientists were finally getting their first real look at intact alien technology. "The whole ship is one big circuit," he muttered, scanning the walls with specialized equipment. "No wires, no separate systems. It's all connected." His team had been chosen to study the alien vessel's power systems. Similar groups were scattered throughout the ship, each focused on different aspects of the advanced technology. After months of only studying crashed or heavily damaged alien craft, having a nearly intact ship was like Christmas coming early. "Dr. Baker," one of his assistants called from across the room. "You need to see this. The crystal structures. They're changing color." Baker rushed over. The assistant was right. The crystalline patterns in the walls were shifting from blue to purple, responding to their scanning equipment. He quickly adjusted some settings on his device. "Record everything," he ordered. "This might be what we've been looking for." For hours, they experimented with different energy frequencies, watching how the alien materials responded. Each test revealed more about how the ship's systems work together. "It's not just their shields," Baker said finally, staring at the test results. "Their whole defensive system relies on energy harmony. That's why our Ghost Fleet's blackout pulses work so well. They disrupt the harmony." He rushed to the command center they'd set up in the alien ship's bridge. Admiral Anderson and Commander White were there, discussing strategy with other officers. "I know how to make their weakness worse," Baker announced without preamble. "We can modify all our weapons to exploit this." The officers gathered around as Baker explained his discovery. The alien ship's greatest strength, their integrated crystal technology, was also their greatest weakness. Once the harmony was disrupted, the whole system began to fail. "Their shields aren't separate from their weapons or engines," Baker explained. "It's all one system. That's why they're so efficient, but it's also why they fail so catastrophically when we hit them with the right frequency." "Can we adapt this knowledge to our regular fleet's weapons?" Anderson asked. Baker nodded enthusiastically. "The modifications are relatively simple. We can have Earth's remaining ships ready within days. Even our older weapons can be tuned to disrupt their harmonic systems." Through the bridge windows, they could see more captured alien ships being towed into Jupiter's orbit. Each one would reveal more secrets, more ways to fight back. "There's something else," Baker added. "Their sensor systems work on the same principle. That's why they couldn't detect our Ghost Fleet. Our ship's absorption technology created a harmonic void they literally couldn't see." White smiled. "So we're not just invisible to them. We're their technological opposite, chaos to their harmony." "Exactly," Baker said. "And now we can make all our ships, not just the Ghost Fleet, exploit this weakness." Anderson turned to his communications officer. "Send word to all Earth shipyards. Priority 1. Begin modifications according to Dr. Baker's specifications." He looked back at the scientist. "How long until the aliens realize we've cracked their technology?" Baker's answer was interrupted by alarms. In the distance, they could see flashes of light. New alien ships entering the solar system. "Let's hope we're ready," White said quietly, "because I don't think they're going to give us much time to prepare." Admiral Anderson watched the tactical display as both fleets moved into position. The combined force of Earth's modified regular ships and the Ghost Fleet formed a curved line near Jupiter's orbit. The alien reinforcements had arrived in greater numbers than expected, but this time, humanity was ready. "Ghost Fleet in position," Commander White reported through the neural link. "Ready to execute slingshot maneuver." Anderson nodded. The plan was risky, but if it worked, begin Operation Thunderbolt. The Ghost Fleet moved first, their dark ships diving toward Jupiter's gravity well. The alien fleet followed, exactly as predicted. Their commanders were still angry about their earlier defeat, making them aggressive and less cautious. "They're taking the bait," White reported. "Entering Jupiter's gravity field now." The massive gas giant's pull began affecting both fleets. But while the alien ships fought against the gravity, the Ghost Fleet's ships worked with it, using Jupiter's force to accelerate them in a slingshot trajectory. Energy readings maximal. Dr. Baker called from his station. The ships are fully charged from Jupiter's radiation field. The Ghost Fleet curved around Jupiter's edge at incredible speed, their metamaterial hulls glowing slightly from the intense radiation. The alien fleet tried to follow, but their crystalline ships weren't designed for such maneuvers. Now, Anderson commanded. The Ghost Fleet split into 3 groups mid-slingshot, their enhanced speed carrying them in different attack vectors. At the same time, Earth's modified regular fleet jumped in from behind Mars, catching the alien forces in a massive crossfire. All ships, fire blackout pulses, White ordered through the neural link. Waves of darkness spread across space from both human fleets. The alien ships' harmonic shields flickered and died. Their crystalline hulls, already stressed from fighting Jupiter's gravity, began to crack. Second wave, conventional weapons, Anderson commanded. Earth's regular fleet fired their modified weapons, each shot tuned to the exact frequency that would disrupt alien technology. Ships that would have shrugged off such attacks a week ago now shattered under the verage. They're trying to regroup, White reported, but the gravity weld is making it difficult. Anderson smiled. Press the advantage. Don't let them reform their battle lines. The Ghost Fleet, still moving at slingshot-enhanced speeds, struck from multiple angles. Their absorbed energy from Jupiter released in devastating bursts, turning alien ships into expanding clouds of crystalline debris. Enemy fleet is splitting up, Tactical reported. They're trying to retreat in different directions. Don't let them, Anderson ordered. If any escape, they'll warn their homeworld about our new capabilities. The battle continued for hours. The human fleets used Jupiter's gravity again and again, slinging around the massive planet to strike from unexpected angles. The alien fleet, designed for straight-line combat in open space, couldn't adapt to these tactics. Finally, White's voice came through. Last enemy ship destroyed. Victory confirmed. Cheers erupted across both fleets, but Anderson and White shared a knowing look. This was just one battle. The alien homeworld would send more ships when they realized their fleet was lost. Begin recovery operations, Anderson ordered. And get our scientists working on those new wrecks. We need every advantage we can get before they return. Around Jupiter's orbit, the victorious human ships began gathering their dead and salvaging alien technology, preparing for the bigger battles to come. Inside the captured alien command ship, Intelligence Officer Jack Reed studied intercepted transmissions from the alien homeworld. After weeks of analyzing their communications, patterns were emerging that made him smile. "You need to see this," he called to Admiral Anderson, who was visiting the research team. "Their whole empire is starting to crack." The Admiral leaned over the displays showing translated alien messages, arguments between alien commanders, conflicting orders, signs of internal power struggles. It was all there. "Their society is based on absolute harmony and order," Reed explained. "Each defeat we inflict doesn't just cost them ships. It damages their entire worldview. They can't handle failure." Through another monitor, they watched real-time translations of alien communications. Different factions were blaming each other for the losses. Some wanted to commit their entire fleet to crushing Earth. Others argued for a full retreat. "Their high command is splitting into 3 factions," Reed continued. "The warriors want to attack immediately. The cautious want to study our technology first. And the fearful," he paused for effect, "the fearful think we might be demons from dark space, that fighting us is blasphemy." Anderson laughed at the last part. "Demons? Because of the Ghost Fleet? Our ships appear from nowhere, absorb their energy weapons, and disappear into radiation fields they can't penetrate. To a species that worships technological harmony, we're their worst nightmare." New alerts flashed across the screens. More alien communications, but these were different. Reports of riots on alien worlds. Religious leaders claiming the war was a sign of divine punishment. Military commanders refusing orders. "Send this to Commander White," Anderson ordered. "She needs to see." An urgent message interrupted him. White's face appeared on a secure channel. "Admiral, we've detected multiple alien fleets approaching. But something's wrong. They're firing on each other." Reed quickly analyzed the new data. 3 fleets, each loyal to a different faction. The warriors launched early, trying to force the others to follow. The cautious faction is trying to stop them. Through the viewing window, they could see flashes of light as alien ships battled each other at the edge of the solar system. The once unified alien military was tearing itself apart. "Your orders, sir?" White asked. Anderson thought for a moment, then smiled. "Launch Psychological Warfare Plan Delta. Transmit the Ghost Fleet footage to all their ships. Let's add to their confusion." Reed nodded and began broadcasting. Videos of dark human ships appearing from nowhere, alien vessels being destroyed by their own reflected energy, the Ghost Fleet moving like shadows through Jupiter's radiation. With their command structure already broken, the images hit the alien forces like a hammer. More alerts flashed. Alien ships were powering down weapons. Others were retreating without orders. Some were broadcasting surrender messages. "Their whole empire is based on perfect harmony and order," Reed said quietly. "We didn't just beat their technology. We broke their entire cultural foundation. They can't adapt fast enough." Anderson watched as more alien ships turned away from Earth. The mighty empire that had nearly conquered them was collapsing under its own rigid structure. "Send to all human forces," he ordered. "Prepare for final operations. The enemy is breaking. Now we end this war." In the distance, alien ships continued to fight each other, their perfect harmony shattered by humanity's unexpected resistance and their own inability to adapt to chaos. The final battle began near Europa, Jupiter's icy moon. The alien Supreme Commander's personal fleet faced the combined forces of humanity. Behind the human ships, Jupiter loomed large, its radiation bands glowing with deadly energy. "One last chance," Admiral Anderson broadcast on all frequencies. "Surrender, and we can end this without more bloodshed." The alien response came quickly. "We cannot surrender to chaos. Better to die in harmony than live in disorder." Commander White's voice echoed through the neural link. "Ghost Fleet, Battle Formation Omega. This ends today." 300 shadow ships moved into position, their dark hulls absorbing light and energy. Around them, Earth's regular fleet formed a wider circle, their weapons modified to exploit alien weaknesses. The trap was set. The alien Supreme Commander struck first. His crystalline flagship, 3 times larger than any previous alien vessel, fired a massive energy beam at Earth's fleet. But the Ghost Fleet was ready. "Shadow Striker, take point," White ordered. Her ship moved forward, its absorption field at maximum. The alien beam struck them and vanished completely. "All ships, execute final protocol," Anderson commanded. The Ghost Fleet split into smaller groups, each targeting specific enemy formations. They moved like liquid shadows through space, using the tactics that had shattered alien morale across dozens of battles. But the Supreme Commander was clever. His ships released some kind of crystalline dust into space, trying to reveal the Ghost Fleet's positions. "Nice try," White muttered. "But we planned for that. All ships, activate radiation pulse." The Ghost Fleet released the energy they'd absorbed from Jupiter. The radiation waves swept away the crystalline dust and slammed into the alien fleet. Their harmonic shields flickered and died. "Earth Fleet, attack pattern Delta," Anderson ordered. Regular human ships struck from multiple angles, their modified weapons tearing through alien defenses. The Supreme Commander's formation began to break apart. White saw their chance. "Ghost Fleet, converge on the flagship. End this." 300 shadow ships moved as one, flowing through space like a river of darkness. The alien flagship's weapons fired desperately, but each shot was absorbed, making the Ghost Fleet stronger. "Final strike," White commanded through the neural link. Every ship released their absorbed energy at once, focusing on the flagship's command center. The massive alien vessel's crystalline structure cracked, lines of light spreading across its surface. The Supreme Commander's last transmission was cut short as his ship broke apart. Without their leader, the remaining alien ships began surrendering. Some tried to flee, but the Ghost Fleet's superior mobility cut off their escape routes. Hours later, Anderson and White stood on the Shadow Strikers bridge, watching alien crews being evacuated from their dying ships. "We did it," White said quietly. "We actually did it." Anderson nodded. "Not just victory in battle. Their whole empire is reforming, becoming less rigid. Some are even talking about learning from us." Through the viewport, they could see Jupiter's massive form. The gas giant that had hidden humanity's secret fleet powered their weapons and helped them change the course of the war. "Send to all ships," Anderson ordered. "The war is over. Earth is safe. Well done, everyone. Well done." The Ghost Fleet formed up one last time, their dark hulls reflecting Jupiter's light as they escorted their prisoners home. Humanity had faced extinction and emerged stronger, proving that sometimes the greatest power lies hidden in the shadows, waiting for the right moment to strike. The end.